Whitney Houston was rumored to have had a same-sex relationship she never publicly acknowledged. She wasn't the only one. Many black celebrities struggled with revealing their true selves, fearing it might harm their careers or personal lives. In this video, we'll explore 20 black celebrities who passed away burdened by the secret of hidden relationships. 1. Paul Winfield. Paul Winfield may not be instantly recognizable to younger audiences, but his impact on film and television is undeniable. Rising to prominence in the 1970s, Winfield delivered a powerful Oscar-nominated performance in Sounder, portraying Nathan Lee Morgan, a sharecropper fighting to keep his family together. His depiction of strength mixed with vulnerability earned him acclaim and solidified his place among Hollywood's most talented black actors. Winfield's career didn't stop there. He went on to play Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the 1978 miniseries King, taking on one of the most challenging roles of his career. While his professional life was celebrated, Winfield kept his personal life exceptionally private, especially regarding his sexuality. Hollywood in the 1970s and 1980s was not a welcoming place for openly gay actors, and Winfield skillfully navigated his career while keeping his private life hidden. Though he never publicly identified as gay, those close to him were aware, and he quietly lived true to himself. To deflect attention, he even dated his Sounder co-star, Cicely Tyson, for about 18 months, which helped divert speculation about his private life. Winfield's most significant relationship was with architect Charles Gillen Jr., with whom he shared many years. Their interracial relationship remained private during a period when both race and sexual orientation were challenging topics. When Gillen passed away in 2002, Winfield was deeply affected. Already dealing with health struggles, including obesity and diabetes, Winfield himself passed away from a heart attack in 2004. Despite facing a world that wasn't ready to accept both his race and sexuality in Hollywood, Winfield broke quiet barriers. His life and career left a lasting mark on American cinema, showing that being a black gay man in Hollywood, while challenging, was possible, even if it had to be done quietly. 2. Nell Carter. Nell Carter is best remembered for her iconic role as Nell Harper, the witty, beloved housekeeper on the 1980s sitcom Gimme a Break. Yet, her talents went far beyond television. Born in 1948, Carter started her career in theater, where she captivated audiences with her powerful voice and stage presence. Her performance in the Broadway musical Ain't Misbehavin' earned her a Tony Award, showcasing her incredible singing ability. By the time Gimme a Break came along, Carter was already a respected performer, and the show only further cemented her place in TV history. Despite her career success, Carter faced many personal challenges. She struggled with health issues, including diabetes and weight fluctuations, and endured the heartbreak of multiple miscarriages. Determined to become a mother, she adopted 3 children and embraced her role as a parent. Carter was married twice, but it was only after her passing in 2003 that another significant relationship in her life came to light: her longtime partner, Ann Kaiser. Ann had been by Carter's side for years, living with her in Beverly Hills and sharing a close bond. After Carter's sudden death at 54, it was revealed that she had left her entire estate to Ann, including guardianship of her children. This news surprised many, highlighting the private yet central role Ann had played in Carter's life. Carter's legacy remains one of immense talent and quiet resilience, showing the complexities of a life lived in the public eye, yet with some parts held close to the heart. 3. Truman Capote. Truman Capote was a literary icon, celebrated for his wit, storytelling, and deep insight into human nature. Born in 1924, he captured readers' imaginations with timeless works like Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood, which continue to inspire to this day. Beyond his writing, Capote was known for his glamorous social circle, which included celebrities, artists, and high society figures who added to his allure. Capote stood out not only for his literary genius, but also for his openness about his sexuality, which was rare at a time when being gay was highly stigmatized. He never hid who he was, embracing his flamboyant personality and making himself a fixture in elite social circles. While his relationships with men were an open secret, some of his closest bonds were with influential women, like Babe Paley, who inspired his unfinished novel Answered Prayers. In his later years, however, Capote struggled with addiction, and his battles took a toll on him. He passed away in 1984 at 59, leaving behind a legacy of bold storytelling and unapologetic authenticity that endures in American literature. 4. Sherman Hemsley. Sherman Hemsley became a television legend through his portrayal of George Jefferson on The Jeffersons, one of the first shows to feature a successful African-American family. His role as the outspoken, quick-witted George Jefferson left a lasting impact on viewers in the 1970s and 1980s, showcasing Hemsley's impeccable comedic timing and magnetic stage presence. Despite his larger-than-life character, Hemsley himself was quite reserved, known for being soft-spoken and intensely private. Throughout his life, Hemsley never married and kept his personal affairs closely guarded, leading to years of speculation about his sexuality. Although rumors circulated that he might be gay, Hemsley chose not to address them publicly, keeping his focus on his career. After his passing from lung cancer in 2012, close friends, including fellow actor Garrett Morris, shared that Hemsley had indeed been gay and had lived most of his life quietly in the closet. Morris, who appeared on The Jeffersons, revealed that those close to Hemsley had long known the truth but respected his wish for privacy. Hemsley's story reflects the difficulties Black gay men faced in Hollywood, especially during his era. His life remains a testament to his talent and the personal sacrifices he made in a challenging industry. 5. Billy Strayhorn. Billy Strayhorn may not be as well known as some of his jazz contemporaries, but his impact on the genre is profound. As Duke Ellington's close collaborator, Strayhorn was the musical mastermind behind many of Ellington's greatest hits, including the iconic Asterisk, Take the A Train. Born in 1915, Strayhorn's early life was filled with challenges, but his passion for music guided him forward. By 23, he had joined forces with Ellington, becoming an essential figure in shaping the sound of American jazz. Strayhorn was not only a brilliant composer and pianist, he was also a pioneering figure for LGBTQ+ visibility in the music world. Unlike many of his peers, he chose to live openly as a gay man, a bold decision during a time when being out could jeopardize one's career. While he wasn't one to seek the spotlight, those close to him were aware of his relationships, and he carried himself with quiet pride and authenticity. Strayhorn passed away from esophageal cancer in 1967 at the age of 51, yet his legacy endures. Though he may not have achieved the same fame as Duke Ellington, Strayhorn's talent and courage helped to shape the world of jazz, leaving an indelible mark on American music. 6. Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin was a vital yet often unrecognized figure in the civil rights movement, known for his exceptional organizing skills and strategic mind. Born in 1912, Rustin was the architect behind the landmark 1963 March on Washington, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his historic "I Have a Dream" speech. While Rustin dedicated his life to the fight for equality, he kept a significant part of his identity hidden due to the era's harsh prejudices: his sexuality. Openly gay in a time when acceptance was scarce, Rustin understood the personal risks that came with this reality. Despite facing discrimination, Rustin's intelligence and unique ability to bring people together made him a powerful force in activism. Due to societal biases, however, he often had to work behind the scenes, with others like Dr. King taking center stage. Rustin's efforts extended beyond civil rights. He was also a passionate advocate for social justice, labor rights, and anti-war causes. Sadly, much of Rustin's story remained hidden during his life. It wasn't until after his death in 1987 that his contributions began to gain broader recognition. Today, Rustin is celebrated not only for his impact on civil rights, but also as a pioneer for LGBTQ+ visibility. His life stands as a reminder that true courage means fighting for justice while also embracing one's identity. Rustin's legacy continues to inspire new generations, proving that every voice matters in the struggle for equality. 7. Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday, famously known as Lady Day, was a jazz icon whose powerful voice and raw emotion left a lasting mark on the music world. Born in 1915 in Philadelphia, she endured severe hardships from a young age, facing poverty and abuse. Despite these struggles, music became her refuge, and by the 1930s, she had mesmerized audiences with her unique style and ability to convey profound feelings through her songs. One of Holiday's most famous pieces, Strange Fruit, exposed the brutal reality of racism in America, using her art as a platform for social commentary. Her music resonated deeply, reflecting both her personal pain and the broader injustices of her time. Although her songs often spoke of heartbreak and suffering, there was an undeniable resilience in her voice that moved listeners. Holiday's personal life was as complex as her music. She had turbulent relationships with both men and women, revealing a fluid approach to love and connection. Though she never openly addressed her sexuality Her romantic life suggested a depth beyond the constraints of her era, mirroring the emotional intensity found in her work. Despite her extraordinary talent, Holiday struggled with addiction and health issues, ultimately passing away in 1959 at the age of 44. Her legacy endures, capturing the spirit of an artist who channeled her pain into beauty and left an indelible impact on jazz and social justice. 8. Little Richard. Little Richard was a trailblazing rock and roll legend whose bold style and electrifying stage presence revolutionized music. Born in 1932 in Macon, Georgia, he burst onto the scene in the 1950s with hits like Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally. More than just a performer, Little Richard was a pioneer who blended gospel, rhythm, and blues, and rock to create a sound that was new and unforgettable. His dynamic piano playing and lively performances captivated audiences and influenced generations of artists, including Elvis Presley and Prince. In addition to his musical impact, Little Richard stood out for his openness about his sexuality in an era when this was rarely discussed. Although he grappled with his identity, navigating relationships with both men and women amid societal pressures, he ultimately embraced his unique persona both on and off stage. His flamboyant style and lyrics subtly reflected his fluid sexuality, making him an early icon for the LGBTQ+ community. Though he briefly stepped back from the music scene to focus on his faith, Little Richard eventually returned, securing his place as one of rock's most essential figures. His legacy lives on, reminding the world of the importance of authenticity and individuality. Little Richard passed away in 2020, leaving behind a transformative influence that extends beyond music, celebrating the courage to be one's true self. 9. Jackie Moms Mabley. Jackie Moms Mabley broke new ground in comedy, setting the stage for generations of female comedians with her unique humor and fearless honesty. Born in 1894, Mabley rose to fame in a comedy scene dominated by men. Known for her bright dresses, toothless grin, and sharp punchlines, she used humor to address serious topics like race, gender, and relationships, winning over audiences everywhere. Mabley gained prominence on the vaudeville circuit, where her comedic style stood out for its bold social commentary. By the 1960s, she became a regular on popular shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, where her humor captivated viewers across the country. While she made people laugh on stage, her personal life was just as inspiring. Open about her relationships with women, Moms Mabley was an LGBTQ+ pioneer, living her truth in an era when this was far from accepted. Despite facing racism and sexism in the industry, Mabley continued performing into her late 70s, proving that age was no barrier to her talent. She passed away in 1975, but her legacy lives on, reminding us of her role as a fearless voice in comedy and a trailblazer for future generations. 10. Barbara Jordan. Barbara Jordan was a transformative figure in American politics, known for her trailblazing achievements and dedication to justice. Born in 1936 in Houston, Texas, she grew up in the face of segregation and discrimination. Her perseverance and intellect helped her break barriers, and she became the first African-American woman elected to the Texas Senate since Reconstruction. This historic accomplishment underscored her commitment to civil rights and her determination to effect meaningful change. In 1972, Jordan was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, making her one of the few black women in Congress at the time. Her skills as an orator quickly gained national attention, particularly during the Watergate hearings in 1974, when she delivered a powerful speech calling for President Nixon's impeachment. Her words resonated deeply as she articulated the importance of accountability and justice, giving voice to the struggles of marginalized communities. Jordan made history again in 1976 as the first black woman to deliver the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention, solidifying her role as a leading political figure. Though her public life was well known, Jordan's personal life remained private. She shared a devoted 30-year relationship with her partner, Nancy Earl. Though this part of her life was rarely acknowledged during her career, it wasn't until after her death in 1996 that the depth of their relationship became public. Despite facing health battles, including multiple sclerosis and leukemia, Jordan continued to serve, chairing the U.S. Commission on Immigration Reform until her health forced her to step down. Barbara Jordan's legacy is one of courage, resilience, and dedication to justice. Her impact on civil rights and politics continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the power of integrity and the enduring fight for equality. 11. Bessie Smith. Bessie Smith, known as the Empress of the Blues, was more than just a singer. She was a powerhouse in American music, Born in 1894 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, she rose from modest beginnings to become one of the most impactful voices of the 1920s and 1930s. With her deep, soulful voice, she brought the blues into the mainstream, a genre that was then largely male-dominated. Songs like Downhearted Blues and Nobody Knows You, When You're Down and Out, spoke to the struggles of the time, capturing heartache, resilience, and hope. On stage, Bessie was magnetic. Her performances were full of raw emotion and presence, making every note resonate with her audiences. Touring across the country, she became a prominent figure in vaudeville, captivating fans with her dramatic delivery and expressive style. Yet her life off stage was equally bold. As a bisexual woman in an era that was not open to sexual diversity, Bessie loved freely, forming relationships with both men and women. Her courage in living authentically made her an early, though quiet pioneer for LGBTQ+ representation. Tragically, her life ended too soon in a car accident in 1937, but her influence lives on. Bessie Smith paved the way for future artists like Janis Joplin and Nina Simone, inspiring them to bring their own emotions to the forefront of their music. Her legacy as a trailblazer endures, reminding us of her profound impact on American music and culture. 12. Ma Rainey. Ma Rainey, known as the Mother of the Blues, was a trailblazer whose influence on music is legendary. Born in 1886, she was one of the first professional blues singers and among the earliest African-American artists to record her songs. Her voice was powerful and her performances full of emotion, captivating audiences across the South and establishing her as a star with her raw and unfiltered style. Rainey's impact extended beyond her music. She was one of the first public figures to openly express attraction to women. While she was married to a man, her music and personal life included relationships with women, and she didn't shy away from this part of her identity. In a time when being openly queer was nearly unheard of, Rainey's courage to be herself was groundbreaking. Though she passed away in 1939, Ma Rainey's legacy endures. Her life and career paved the way for future generations of LGBTQ+ artists to express their true selves in their music and lives, marking her as a cultural icon whose influence is felt even today. 13. Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman was a truly unforgettable singer, known for her rich contralto voice and soulful performances that left a lasting impact. With hits like You Know How to Love Me and Living All Alone, she secured a place in the hearts of R&B and jazz fans. However, behind her successful career, Hyman faced personal battles that deeply affected her. Throughout her life, Hyman struggled with bipolar disorder and depression, often turning to alcohol and drugs to cope. Despite her fame, she was open about her mental health challenges, speaking candidly about the pain she endured. Tragically, in 1995, she took her own life just days before her 46th birthday, leaving fans heartbroken. Her passing sparked important discussions about mental health within the Black community, topics that were often overlooked or avoided. After her death, it emerged that Hyman had relationships with both men and women, including a rumored long-term relationship with the songwriter Tina Clark. Though she never publicly identified as bisexual, those close to her have indicated that her relationships with women held significant meaning in her life. Phyllis Hyman's legacy endures, not only for her musical contributions, but also for her openness about mental health, a topic that continues to resonate with and inspire others. 14. Octavia Butler. Octavia Butler was a true pioneer in science fiction, breaking new ground as one of the most influential voices in the genre. Born in 1947, she rose to prominence in a field that had little space for women, especially Black women. Butler's powerful novels, including Kindred and Parable of the Sower, combine speculative fiction with deep explorations of race, gender, and power, challenging readers to think beyond traditional boundaries. While Butler was intensely private about her personal life, leading to speculation about her sexuality, she never publicly identified as LGBTQ+. Those close to her, however, have suggested she may have been a lesbian. Despite this mystery, Butler's legacy remains defined by her transformative storytelling and fearless approach to social issues. Her passing in 2006 left a profound void, yet her influence endures, inspiring countless writers, especially women of color, to explore the world of speculative fiction and address complex social themes through a unique lens. 15. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was more than a superstar. She was a cultural icon with a voice that defined a generation. Known for her unmatched vocal talent and striking beauty, Whitney left an indelible mark on pop music, with over 200 million records sold, 6 Grammy Awards, and countless chart-topping hits like I Will Always Love You, Greatest Love of All. She was one of the most celebrated artists of her time. In 2023, Rolling Stone ranked her as the second greatest singer of all time, securing her legacy in music history. However, Whitney's life behind the scenes was complex. She battled drug addiction for many years, a struggle that ultimately contributed to her tragic death in 2012. Another private aspect of her life was her close relationship with her best friend, Robin Crawford. While Whitney was romantically linked to several high-profile figures, her deep bond with Crawford fueled rumors for years. The two met as teens, and their friendship spanned decades. In her 2019 memoir, Crawford revealed that she and Whitney had shared a romantic relationship in their early years, a connection they kept private. For Whitney, who grew up with strong ties to her Christian faith and faced immense pressure to maintain a certain public image, living openly as a queer woman would have been incredibly difficult. Many fans wonder if her struggles with addiction were, in part, connected to the challenges of not being able to live authentically. 16. James Baldwin. James Baldwin was more than a writer. He was a powerful voice for those often overlooked. Born in Harlem in 1924, Baldwin grew up in a strict religious household with a preacher as a stepfather. Though he initially followed the path toward ministry, Baldwin soon realized that his calling lay in literature. In the 1940s, he left the United States for Paris, seeking a place where he could freely explore issues of race and sexuality without the constraints of American society. Baldwin's work was groundbreaking, addressing race, sexuality, and identity in ways rarely seen before. His 1956 novel, Giovanni's Room, was one of the first to examine same-sex love with honesty and complexity, making it a milestone in LGBTQ+ literature. While Baldwin addressed his sexuality openly in his writing, he kept his personal life private, choosing to let his characters and essays speak for him instead of making public declarations. In the U.S., being both black and gay came with intense challenges, but Baldwin remained resolute. He faced discrimination and prejudice on many fronts, but refused to let these barriers silence him. Through his eloquent words, he confronted the injustices of society, and his writings continue to inspire and resonate today. Baldwin passed away in 1987, leaving a legacy that still fuels movements for equality and justice. Although he was open about his identity and his work, he preferred to focus on the broader social issues he fought against rather than on his personal life, allowing his legacy to be one of profound impact and advocacy. 17. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross's voice is one of the most beloved in R&B history. Born in 1951 in New York City, he captivated millions with his soulful, heartfelt songs like Never Too Much and Dance with My Father. His smooth yet powerful voice allowed him to express deep emotions, making him a favorite for fans worldwide and helping him sell over 40 million records. While his music was full of passion and love, Vandross was notably private about his personal life. Unlike other stars, he was never seen dating publicly, leading to speculation about his sexuality. Close friends later confirmed that Vandross was indeed a gay man, but he kept this part of his life private, fearing that coming out might alienate his female fan base, who were devoted to his romantic ballads. Patti LaBelle, one of his closest friends, shared that Vandross worried about how coming out might affect his career and his family, especially his mother. She noted that while his mother may have known, they never openly discussed it. Bruce Vilanch, another close friend, revealed that Vandross once confided in him about leading a double life, keeping his true self hidden. At a time when being openly gay could threaten a career, especially for a black artist, Vandross felt it necessary to keep this aspect of his identity private. Luther Vandross passed away in 2005 from complications following a stroke, leaving a profound legacy in music. Though his personal struggles with his identity remain largely hidden, his music continues to touch lives, preserving his memory as one of the most cherished voices of his generation. 18. Sylvester. When it comes to disco in the late 1970s, Sylvester is a name that shines brightly. Known for his flamboyant outfits, high falsetto, and electrifying presence, Sylvester was a groundbreaking figure in music. Born in 1947 in Los Angeles, he started out singing gospel in church. However, as he grew, he felt at odds with his conservative upbringing. Moving to San Francisco, he found a community where he could fully embrace his identity within the city's vibrant LGBTQ+ scene. In San Francisco, Sylvester flourished, both as an artist and as himself. His hit song, You Make Me Feel Mighty Real became a powerful anthem celebrating individuality and self-expression. While he openly expressed his queerness on stage and in public, he was more reserved about his private life. He often spoke about the inner conflict he felt from his religious background as he came to accept his own sexuality. Sylvester's rise during the disco era was swift, but as disco faded in popularity by the early 1980s, so did his mainstream visibility. Yet, he never let this diminish his spirit. As the AIDS crisis emerged, Sylvester became a vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, fighting for his community during a critical time. Sadly, Sylvester himself succumbed to AIDS in 1988 at the age of 41. Though his time at the top was brief, his influence on music and LGBTQ+ culture remains powerful, inspiring future generations to live boldly and authentically. 19. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was a complex figure, and his contradictions made him a comedy legend. Born in 1940 in Peoria, Illinois, Pryor grew up in a challenging environment, raised by his grandmother in a brothel. His early life, marked by trauma and hardship, became the raw material for his comedy. Through brutally honest routines, Pryor shared his struggles with addiction, mental health, and relationships, drawing from his tumultuous past. In the 1970s and 1980s, Pryor rose to fame for his fearless comedic style, tackling race, politics, and his own personal flaws. But one aspect of his life remained largely hidden: his bisexuality. Though he married women 5 times, he subtly hinted at his experiences with men in his jokes, often blurring the line between truth and humor. Years after his passing, music icon Quincy Jones revealed in a 2018 interview that Pryor had a romantic relationship with actor Marlon Brando. Pryor's widow, Jennifer Lee Pryor, confirmed this, sharing that Pryor was open about his bisexuality with friends and had written about his relationships with men in his journals. Despite this, Pryor chose not to publicly discuss his sexuality, likely influenced by the social climate of his time. In 2005, Pryor passed away after a long struggle with multiple sclerosis. Though he shattered countless barriers in comedy, pushing societal boundaries, he kept much of his personal life private. His stage persona was boldly open, but his romantic relationships, especially with men, remained a quieter part of his life story. 20. Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker was more than an entertainer. She was a trailblazer. Born in 1906 in St. Louis, Missouri, she rose from poverty to become one of the world's most celebrated performers. Moving to Paris in the 1920s, she quickly captivated audiences with her bold dancing and vibrant stage presence. Her breakout role in Astor's La Revue Negre showcased her unique charisma, turning her into a sensation and a headline star at the renowned Folies Bergère. The French adored her, and she became a beloved icon. But Baker's impact went beyond the stage. During World War II, she used her charm and connections to gather intelligence for the French resistance, bravely working as a spy against the Nazis. Later, she became a powerful voice for racial equality, championing the American civil rights movement and refusing to perform for segregated audiences. Her efforts paved the way for activism within the entertainment world, making her a true pioneer. Behind the glamour, Baker kept her private life discreet. Although she married several times and famously adopted 12 children from various backgrounds, her relationships with women remained hidden. She allegedly had a romance with Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. Though neither publicly discussed it, those close to her were aware of her bisexuality, but Baker understood that revealing such relationships could jeopardize her career. She chose to keep this part of her life private, even as she boldly championed equality on other fronts. Josephine Baker passed away in 1975 at age 68, leaving behind a legacy that endures as both an artist and a civil rights icon. Her courage, talent, and commitment to justice continue to inspire. Josephine Baker's legacy reminds us of the power of authenticity and courage. To discover more inspiring stories of trailblazers like her, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for our next video.